a career in geomatic and land surveying, looking beyond the horizon, breaking new frontiers. A documentary video for GLS Division, RISM.
Do you know where the boundary of your land is? Have you ever wondered how maps and charts are created? Did you give a second glance to the guy who is looking through an instrument on a three-legged stand by the roadside? All of these are questions relating to a land surveyor. To answer these questions and more, one must first of all understand what a land surveyor's work is like. Land surveying, also known as geomatics in many parts of the world, is considered as one of the oldest and most important professions practiced by man. It is the cornerstone upon which all plans, design and construction is based. It is a profession that demands accuracy, precision and dedication. Land surveyors' responsibilities encompass a broad spectrum of high professional ethics, sound judgment, training and technical skills. A land surveyor's work touches almost everyone's lives in more ways than one. The places in which to live, to work, to play, to learn, to worship, to meet, to govern, to shop, to eat. The roads that we travel, the city we are dwelling, the parks, the coast, the mountains, all these places make up neighborhoods, towns, suburbs and cities. And to transform these needs into concepts and then develop the concepts into realities requires them to be surveyed, charted, mapped and measured. And these require the services of trained professionals, the land surveyors. A land surveyor is often the first person on site preparing the foundation upon which a property is built, addressing such issues as topography, environment and others. A land surveyor must possess skills in a number of disciplines in order to perform their varying and demanding tasks efficiently. It is also the land surveyor's responsibility to gather as much information as possible before and during the execution of their work. The most common type of work carried out by a land surveyor are cadastral surveys, which refers to the traditional boundary surveys relating to land ownership issues. Here, the land surveyor measures, marks, and maps the boundary lines of land ownership and describes where a certain area of land is located. He plans the fieldwork, selects known survey reference marks, and determines the precise location of the boundary in the survey area. He would normally have to base his work on the previous survey while collecting data to draw a current map for the piece of property. Each land parcel has several boundary markers on it to show the property corners and the boundary limits of the parcel. The land surveyor makes measurements, compiles notes, makes sketches and enters the survey data onto the instruments. He records what the area looks like and how big it is. These facts are incorporated onto land titles, which is really a legal document explaining who owns what and where, something like a registration card is to a motorist. Land surveyors also define the boundary of properties and ownerships in high-rise buildings through strata titles as well as underground spaces. They certify that the structures are built within the lot concerned. Surveyors also carry out subdivisions, splitting up properties into new lots, and sometimes they are called to provide expert testimony in court cases concerning surveying matters, of course. In a construction project or engineering type of work, Surveyors carry out survey measurements prior to or while construction is in progress to control elevation, horizontal position, dimensions, and configuration. They also do stakeout of line for pilings, buildings, fences, roads, utilities, and so on. Some surveyors perform specialized functions different to those of a traditional surveyor. Much of their work help us in a better understanding of the shape, size, and the mechanics of the earth, such as in the determination of the earth, earthquake studies, and tsunami. They also help in the determination of the beginning months of Hijri, the direction of Qiblat and prayer times. These surveyors are commonly referred to as geodetic surveyors or geodesists. As Malaysia moves forward to become a developed nation, the need to maintain reliable underground utility information places special demands on the roles of land surveyors. This aspect of work is of utmost importance, both socially and economically, as the emplacement of new utility infrastructure requires the knowledge of existing underground utilities. In this regards, land surveyors conduct appropriate survey and data acquisition works and prepare underground utility maps. This would assist utility agencies and companies in their installation and relocation policies, thus avoiding catastrophic damages of underground utilities and disruption of services. Today's advancement in technology has also an impact in the role of land surveyors. It is not uncommon to see modern surveyors using Geographic Information System or GIS in their work, as well as being involved in the concerned industry. In this system, surveyors will create the land survey as the first layer, creating the framework for additional layers that give more detail, such as the exact positions of street signs, traffic lights, telephone poles, and fire hydrants in a city. This information will be useful for planners by combining and analyzing of various geographically based data sets for use in many decision-making processes. Land surveyors can also be map makers. They measure, map, and chart the Earth's surface, which involves everything from geographical research and data compilation to actual map production. They collect, analyze, and interpret both spatial data such as latitude, longitude, altitude, and distance, and non-spatial data such as land use patterns. Land surveyors prepare maps in either digital or graphic form using information provided by geodetic surveys, aerial photographs, and satellite data. So, the next time you see a tourist holding a map to find his way around the city, you know that the work of a surveyor is behind it and makes it possible. The land under bodies of water need also be surveyed. Land surveyors may be engaged to survey harbors, rivers, and other bodies of water. They collect data to determine the shorelines, the sea level, and other information relating to the water depth, bottom contours, and topography, location of fixed objects for navigational purposes, and other features. Land underwater constantly changes due to currents and storms, so waterways are often surveyed and resurveyed to record changes. Hydrographic surveying requires training with different types of high-tech equipment and is used to measure erosion, guide dredging projects, explore for oil, or mark underwater hazards. The shipping industry, government researchers, and oil companies rely heavily on these types of surveys. The technology and equipment used by land surveyors have been advancing by leaps and bounds. These technologies have undergone dramatic transformations. In fact, the history of surveying dates can be traced back to ancient Egypt and Babylonia. During these olden days, field measurements were made with ropes having markers at unit distances, and it is no wonder that early surveyors were called rope stretchers. Surveying, once associated with the work of carrying compasses to chains to transits and tapes, theodolites and electronic distance measurement, EDM to total stations, is now considered a profession of high-tech multi-disciplines, having focus and application in land, air and sea-related issues. GPS or Global Positioning System, which can compute data that normally took a lot of time to gather, based the readings coordinated through satellites orbiting the Earth. Each of these disciplines employs state-of-the-art equipment and resources at the forefront of emerging technologies. On the other hand, in the field of map making, land surveyors also make measurements and analyze aerial photographs and then prepare detailed maps, digital elevation models and drawings from them. These are usually of areas that are inaccessible, difficult or less cost-efficient to survey by other methods. Surveyors working as map editors develop and verify map contents from aerial photographs and other reference sources. Their functions may also include planning aerial surveys, interpreting and making measurements from remote sensing imagery and designing maps. Land surveyor may also be involved in using remote sensing technology, which is a technique that uses information about objects and the environment that is obtained from a distance, usually from the air. This technique allows land surveyors to greatly expand their spectral view of the Earth, which consequently helps them to perform their roles. So, who should become a land surveyor? Anyone who likes challenge, who is able to visualize objects, distances and sizes in abstract forms. Someone who likes outdoors, who enjoys mathematics, computers and a good mystery. Someone who has good eyesight, coordination and hearing to communicate. Surveying is a cooperative operation, so good interpersonal skills and the ability to work as part of a team are important. Well-educated, intelligent, dedicated individuals, they are the ones who should become a land surveyor. And with time, surveyors take on an increasingly responsible duty. In government departments, for example, surveyors may advance to supervisory positions, taking charge of a district or a unit, or they may take managerial positions, taking charge of a section, a division, or a department. Some surveyors become partners in established firms, others set up their own practices. Graduates with degrees in surveying can have career opportunities. In the Department of Survey and Mapping Malaysia, as a professional surveyor, as a photogrammetrist, as a GIS manager, in the IT industry, in surveying firms, public works department, construction firms, energy and utility companies, Malaysia Centre for Remote Sensing, National Space Agency, as well as institutions of high learning. Land surveyor, a career that offers engaging and diverse areas of work with highly professional skills, advanced technologies, and top career satisfaction. So now, if you see a guy by the roadside looking through an instrument on a three-legged stand, mind you, he is not taking pictures. He is a surveyor. He is looking beyond the horizon and breaking new frontiers.